the girl who disappeared without a trace. Willow Creek was a quiet town. Everyone knew everyone, and people rarely locked their doors. The streets were safe, the schools were small, and life moved slowly. But that peaceful image changed one autumn evening when a young girl named Clara James vanished without a trace. Clara was only 17 years old. She was smart, cheerful, and well-liked by her classmates. She lived with her mother, a nurse at the local clinic, and her younger brother, Michael, who was just 10. Her father had passed away years earlier, so Clara had grown up quickly, often helping her mother take care of the family. That evening, Clara had promised her mother she would run to the corner store to buy some milk. It was less than a 10-minute walk. She left the house around 6:30 p.m., just before the sun dipped below the horizon. She waved goodbye to Michael, who was busy playing video games, and told him she would be back soon. But Clara never came home. At first, her mother thought she was late because she had run into a friend. But when an hour passed and Clara still wasn't back, worry began to sink in. She called Clara's phone, no answer. She called again, still nothing. By 8 p.m., she reported Clara missing. Police officers began searching the neighborhood, asking shopkeepers if they had seen her. The store clerk remembered her clearly. "She bought a carton of milk," he said. She smiled, thanked me, and walked out. That was the last time I saw her. Outside the store was a small parking lot and a row of houses. But no one could remember seeing Clara after that. It was as if she had stepped into the evening shadows and simply disappeared. The police searched the streets, the nearby woods, and even the riverbank, but there was no sign of her. By the next morning, the entire town knew what had happened. Posters with Clara's face were hung up on lampposts. Local TV stations covered the story. Friends at her high school shared their fears online, starting a wave of posts with the hashtag #FindClara. Rumors spread quickly. Some people whispered that Clara had run away. Others believed something darker had happened. A few claimed to have seen a strange van near the store that night, but no one could describe it clearly. Her best friend, Emily, was heartbroken. She would never run away, Emily insisted during an interview. Clara loved her family too much. She had dreams of going to college. She wouldn't just leave. But with no solid evidence, the case grew colder each passing day. Detective Alan Brooks, a man with 30 years of experience, took the case personally. He had seen many missing persons cases in his career, but something about Clara's disappearance troubled him deeply. There should have been some sign, he told his partner. Footprints, a dropped phone, a piece of clothing, or something. But it's like she was lifted off the face of the earth. Brooks started interviewing everyone close to Clara. He spoke to her teachers, classmates, neighbors, and family. Nothing suspicious turned up. Clara was loved and respected. She had no enemies. Then he checked her phone records. The last call she made was to Emily, just 5 minutes before she reached the store. The call lasted only 30 seconds. Emily said Clara had told her she was picking up milk and would call her later. But she never did. 1 week later, a small clue finally appeared. A hiker reported seeing a white shoe near the woods about 2 miles from the store. The police rushed to the scene and found it half buried in the dirt. It was Clara's shoe. The discovery shook the town, but it also raised more questions than answers. How had the shoe ended up so far away? Had Clara walked there? Or had someone taken her? Detective Brooks ordered a deep search of the woods. For 2 days, officers combed through the trees, bushes, and riverbanks. They found scraps of torn fabric, possibly from Clara's jacket, and some cigarette butts nearby. The cigarette butts carried DNA, but no matches were found in the national database. Soon more witnesses came forward. A woman reported seeing a dark-colored van speeding away from the area the same night Clara disappeared. Another person remembered hearing a scream near the woods, but had thought it was just kids playing. The police began searching for vans registered in the town. They narrowed it down to 3 possible suspects. One belonged to a local handyman, another to a delivery driver. The third was owned by a man named Gregory Hall, who lived on the edge of town. Gregory had a criminal record for petty theft and trespassing. He lived alone in a small, run-down house. When the police questioned him, he seemed nervous. He claimed he had been home all night watching TV, but when asked if anyone could confirm his alibi, he had no answer. Detective Brooks wasn't convinced. A month passed, and hope began to fade. Clara's mother prayed every night for her daughter's return. Michael cried himself to sleep, holding Clara's old teddy bear. Then came the breakthrough. A security camera from a gas station just outside town showed something chilling. The footage, taken around the time of Clara's disappearance, showed a van that matched Gregory Hall's vehicle driving past with its headlights off. Minutes later, the same van drove back, this time much slower. Armed with this evidence, the police obtained a warrant to search Gregory's house. What they found would haunt Willow Creek forever. Inside Gregory's garage, police discovered traces of blood on the floor. They found a piece of Clara's torn jacket hidden behind a box. In the basement, there were ropes, duct tape, and an old mattress on the floor. Gregory was arrested immediately. Under questioning, he first denied everything. But as evidence piled up, his story began to crack. Finally, after hours of silence, he confessed. He admitted he had followed Clara from the store. He said he grabbed her when she walked past the parking lot, forced her into his van, and drove her to his house. But when pressed about where she was now, Gregory refused to answer. "She's gone," was all he said. With Gregory behind bars, the town still had no closure. Clara's body was never found. Despite days of searching, no trace of her beyond the shoe and jacket was ever recovered. Some believed Gregory had buried her somewhere deep in the woods. Others thought she might still be alive, hidden away. But the truth was never revealed. Clara's disappearance left a permanent scar on Willow Creek. Parents became more protective. Children were no longer allowed to walk alone at night. The once carefree town now lived in fear and sadness. Her mother never gave up hope. Every year on the anniversary of her disappearance, she lit a candle by the window, waiting for Clara to come home. Years later, Clara's story became a legend in Willow Creek. New families who moved into town heard whispers about the girl who disappeared without a trace. Some claimed her spirit haunted the woods. Others said she could be seen walking home on quiet evenings, clutching a carton of milk. Detective Brooks retired, but Clara's case remained the one that haunted him the most. "We got the man," he once said, "but we never got the truth." And so, Clara's story became both a warning and a mystery, a reminder that even in the safest towns, shadows can hide in plain sight. Like, comment, and subscribe for interesting stories. Turn on your notification button so you don't miss our next post.